again to Still Here podcast. Always a pleasure to have you, and a place where we have amazing conversation, real life stories, real life experiences of people that look like me and people that look like you, and where we can get an holistic view of your emotional and mental wellness. So please, if you are not updated or you're not in the loop, kindly follow us on all our social media platforms at sh.podcast with a double T on Instagram and on TikTok. And please, while you're here, just subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on the post notification. It's the Precious Ochiagha. And you can also find us on Spotify at the Precious Ochiagha. So let's get into it today. And do not forget that we are waiting to hear your story. Our email, just send us email and we'll get your story again. And once again, another episode where we talk. And this time around, we have an amazing guest. Amazing guest that is going to give us both practical and spiritual insight in his journey and help you to know that even though you are still here, it is more than enough for now. Just to read his profile briefly, our guest is a pastor, a leadership expert, entrepreneur, investment educator, life coach, and transformational speaker, dedicated to helping people discover purpose, maximize potential, and create lasting impact. He is passionate about raising leaders who excel spiritually, professionally, and financially while influencing their generation with integrity and excellence. He serves as the Prime Minister of the Next Church, where he's committed to teaching biblical truths, developing disciples, and equipping believers to live victorious and purpose-driven lives. His ministry focuses on spiritual growth, leadership development, kingdom advancement, and a social tie transformation. Beyond ministry, he is the co-founder and CEO of Cleon Limited, where he provides leadership in business development, branding, and strategic growth initiative. He's also passionate about financial literacy and investment education. Known for his practical teaching style, visionary leadership, and commitment to excellence, he continues to inspire people across spheres of life to pursue God's given assignments with courage, wisdom, and diligence. He's happily married to his beautiful wife, PM Miracle Okoy, and together with your family, they reside in Lagos, Nigeria. So help me welcome my amazing guest, our pastor, the Prime Minister of the Next Church, Pastor John Okoy.
Wow. Amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you for having me here. I'm still here.
Oh, clock it. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine.
How does it feel to be on Still Here podcast?
I feel amazing to be here because it gives me an opportunity to, I love when I share. I love when people tell their stories, where people can tell how they are really, not pretending, no pretense, no aesthetics, no coloring. I love those kind of things. I love that kind of life. So I'm happy to be here. I'm still here.
Thank you so much, sir. And we're honored and privileged to have you. So I know you've shared your story a number of times because I've heard it about how you were in a financial crisis, and then it was like the world was going to end. And so I'm going to start off from there. So many people see pastors as strong and spiritual grounded people. How was your struggle with financial pressure like? What did it look like? The financial pressure and the emotional exhaustion. What did it look like for your pastor?
Okay. I think many people see pastors as superheroes. That's what they were. And beyond the smiles, the preaching, the powerful anointing, behind that is real human beings who are going through real issues, real everyday issues. One of my struggles has been, I was in a lot of financial pressure, but having to show up every day. Having to encourage people when you are wondering, when you're wondering how would I go by the next day? When you are wondering, what if police show up? What if another court case? Wow. What if another, you are arrested tomorrow. But you are there, you are encouraging people. And sometimes it seems as even the people who you are caring for don't even understand or care the kind of pressure that you are on.
Wow.
But pastors are real human beings, and we go through pain, we go through betrayal, we go through shame, we go through those pressures. So
you're going back in time.
we started our organization, and we were into portfolio management. So we get people's money, treat for them, and give them a profit at the end of the month. It was going well for over 1 year. We were doing exceptionally well until something happened in the market, and we lost over 300 million of people's money. And that pressure was heavily on us. That pressure was heavily on us. People that have been getting their ROI over the month, don't care. They just want their money, everything. They are posting you on social media. The pressure was enormous. But you are a pastor. You still have to show up. You still have to pray for your people. Some of the people you pray for have even connived with the people you are owing to be dragging you.
Oh my God, I cannot imagine.
The pain of first losing money, the pain of betrayal from supposed members was a different thing altogether.
And it was not just your money, I mean people's money. That's a lot of money.
Yes, people's money. And people don't want to hear what you went through or how you have fared the past 1 year. All they want is their money. And they go any extent. So there were court cases, there were armies that were dragged into it, police were dragged into it, people threatening you. Some people would threaten you, I will kill you, I will kill myself, and it was so much. But we thank God that we are still here.
So was there like a moment where the weight you were carrying was no longer financial stress? Like you could just say that this is not stress anymore. Like what I'm carrying now is beyond stress. Did you have any moment like that?
Yes. So there are points in my life that I knew that this is not stress. This is not even pressure from the money. This is a mental breakdown. I had an experience I won't forget. October 7, 2023. Because of the pressure I was facing, and suicidal thoughts. And because pressure was coming from everywhere, I remember that day lying on the bed. 3 a.m. I can't forget. I felt this kind of peace that I've never felt. But I wasn't sleeping. I felt my body leaving my body. And I felt this kind of peace I've never felt. It felt like all the troubles, all the worries, all the pain, all the betrayals has gone. And something also was telling me, this is you going. This is you going. And somehow, I came back to my body. But that was a peace I've never felt, before. And it occurred to me that that's how people die. That's how people just give up. So I've had such experiences that I know that this is not just stress. This is just is a mental breakdown. This is not exhaustion. You are just tired of everything. You've gotten to that point that let me just give up. So I have come to that point in my life, and some people will call it stress, but it wasn't stress. It wasn't stress.
So, as Christians, again, because I've come to realize that most of these issues that we have with mental breakdown, we Christians are the ones that keep it longer. How do I put it? We cover it the longest, I think, because of our faith, or I don't know. But in people are taught that we should pray through every difficulty. So you are going through a rough patch, you are stressed. Are you sure that it's not arrows and tribulations? How do you know that you're not how do you know you're not in your wilderness phase? How do you know that this is not God that put you in that place? So how do you think that we Christians, we suffer longer in silence than we should?
Well, I pray. I am confrontational. I love war. I love prayers. Yes. But as much as I love that, I understand that when your leg is broken, you visit the hospital. When your mind is broken, it's not prayer that will solve it. So prayer can be like a cushion, but prayer doesn't solve a broken mind. Prayer doesn't solve a broken spirit. As Christians, we over spiritualize things.
Yeah.
And many Christians suffer longer in trauma
than we should,
because we spiritualize things we should deal with through professional therapy. A pastor that has nothing to do with counseling, because he's a pastor, they are putting him under pressure to counsel traumas.
Oh, yeah.
And so members in the church are suffering things, are going through elongated issues because the pastor doesn't know exactly what to do. So you tell them to pray instead of telling them you need to visit a therapist. You need to be on this program for 3 months or 6 months because your mind is broken. Your soul is broken. So your spirit, as a believer, your spirit has been born again. But your soul needs, because many of us, we gave our life to Christ, but our souls have been wounded. Wounded by many things, many traumas, especially in Nigeria. Many traumas. So the Bible gives us a template, a model. It says, yes, you've been born again, but you need a renewal, a transformation of your mind, a transformation of your soul, because the soul has been wounded. But we as pastors, as Christians, you believe that, okay, this thing you're facing is an attack. This thing you're facing is from the devil. And most of those things are not the devil.
The devil is not aware.
It's not. The devil is even not aware that you're going through those things. They are just a problem that, for example, someone who is angry, who is always very angry, you may say, it's the devil that is coming after you. It's the devil that is attacking you. But if a professional should do a real analysis, is a broken home, is from the background that is coming from, maybe is abuse, molestation. That the person is just venting anger, just expressing his or her trauma, but you feel is angry because there is a demon in it. So, and you can put it, yes, you can put the person on in 3 months spiritual program, retreat, and the person will come out even doing worse because you have not dealt with the soul. Yeah. You have not dealt with the mental issue. So the person is broken mental. Yes, we can go. But there's a question you ask. How do we know that is not a wilderness phase that you are going through? How do I know that this problem I'm facing is not a wilderness phase that I'm going? Number one, which is very important, is you ask yourself a question. You ask yourself a question. So, this thing that I call a wilderness, is there a pattern? Has it been recurring over and over and over and over again? Because sometimes patterns are a sign that there are things you have not dealt with. There are things in your mind, in your soul that you have not dealt with. So it's not just spiritual. So that's something we should consider.
Wow, we've gone in strong already. So since we're already here, I'd like, because you already mentioned that you had suicidal ideations, but I just want us to go more in depth into it. So what were some of the thoughts that you battled with in those lowest moments?
Okay. One of the thoughts I battled with that, in short, our suicidal thought was not me. We sit down with my team to discuss it. We'll just say, because it was coming at us, because we'll just be discussing. What if we just climb up? We discuss it. What if we just climb up maybe 5-story building and just fall down at the same time? These people will not disturb us again.
Wow.
Or sometimes we've texted. I remember I've texted some people. I said, all this thing you're doing, if I die now, you will not see your money. Because I felt that I've gotten to that point that if we end it here, you won't be disturbing me. Your money is lost. And I got to a point where I begin to think that that's the solution. Because it's hopeless. I think suicide comes from a point of hopelessness. Yes. You can't see the future. You can't see moving from where you are. And that was the point where we can't see tomorrow. We can't see how we can move from where we are to the next level. And those were the thoughts. The thought that nobody cares. The thought that I am going through this alone. That if I end it or it ends, I won't be a problem to anybody. So, yes.
Wow. So recently I discovered something. So I was working at a place for a period of time, and then I left. And then one of the times I was speaking to my psychologist, and he was asking me about something. I was like, oh, I don't feel like I'm up to the task again. And it's like, why? Like, I don't just feel like I can do it. And then he asked a question. It's like, okay, so did you tie your self-worth to your job, your previous job? And it struck a nerve that, wait though. It's like somehow I had tied. Now I don't trust myself to do anything anymore because I'm no longer in that space. I'm like, but I'm the one that was there. I can replicate this thing wherever it is that I find myself. So the question is that, a lot of people tie their worth, their self-worth to their financial stability. So, especially with what you went through, how have you learned to separate it? Where do you draw the line? Especially right now, safe.
So it's not only financial stability; it's even status. I remember when God asked us, the church we started first. When God asked us to shut down the church, we shut it down because you felt the pride of being a pastor. You felt you loved ministry, and your worth was tied to the church. And when it was a struggle, so we eventually shut and then moved. And for the period of time, my mind was saying, start another one, start the church. When you go to churches and a pastor is preaching, you're feeling inspired, but God will always tell you. I remember how we went to buy instruments. Yes, instrument to start, and we kept it. Okay, this thing will start. God have to speak now. We will start. I remember when, I don't know why God speaks to me 3 a.m. But 3 a.m. again, I heard a tap, and God told me, if you love this ministry more than you love me, you will miss it.
It's even possible to even put what God has called you to above it.
So that's when I discovered that, look, it's not ministry that makes John. So let's move to finances. Is rampant. People tie their worth to their finances. So I think God has delivered me. There's a point you get to where money is not, when you have seen it, that you've gotten the money is no more that thing that
Just like it comes.
yes, money is not that thing. So there are projects you do that is not even dependent on money. You have the vision because you know that this money will come, and there are also sometimes. I remember somebody telling me a story. Telling me one day I came out from church, and the person told me, "I can't believe that you don't have a car." And that's when it was dawning on me. So you mean you're paying people salaries, you're doing a lot of things, and
You don't have a car.
you don't have a car? Because there are people who tie their words
To things
a
like
car
that.
to things, but God has taught me by the losses, the money we've had, and by the losses that it is not in money.
Yeah.
Imagine someone who was your escorts were army, not normal policemen, army. You were living in a mansion, and then suddenly all those things are not there. At first, it was a battle, but over time, I don't think money, I tie my worth to money.
I think, honestly, the people that God has stripped, this is how God will strip you. You get to a point that you just know that you cannot even depend on money again, because you start to see money as a means to an end.
Yes.
Because you know that
Yes.
I saw something some time ago online. There are periods in your life where God, you just be having just enough. You want 1,500, you get exactly 1,500.
Yes.
No addition, no subtraction.
Yes.
And you see that God is preserving you and is keeping you through all those. You cannot, it's almost impossible to come out of that kind of phase and still tie so much importance to money.
So many, yes.
If God wants to just put you in that state, he put you in that state, and you just realize that money at the end of the day is just a means to an end. So my next question will be, what helped you? What did you hold on to during those moments?
What helped me? A lot of factors helped me. There's a voice I kept hearing in all of these things. The voice of my mother. In all of these things, there's things he will say to me at strategic time. John, you won't die. You can't end it here.
Wow.
There are so that I kept hearing that. And then spirituality plays a lot. We can neglect the place. People can talk down the place of church, but you can't take that importance. Because in those moments also, there's things, the word of God that I've imbibed in my spirit.
Yeah.
The things I've read, the things I've learned, the processes I've gone, keeps rushing in. So it's in my mind, it's like two worlds, two kingdoms fighting themselves. Yes. So that's one thing that has helped me. And also, like I said, if you have a broken leg, you see the hospital. If your mind is broken, please don't spiritualize it. So I had a therapist. I had a therapist in church. Though, because he's in church, church subsidized a lot of things. So that we didn't have to pay much, but I knew I needed to see someone. So it was a long journey. So sometimes we think that the therapist is something of 3 months or 2 months, but it was a long journey. But she helped me through that process. So my mom's voice, the word I have imbibed, and seeing a therapist.
Exactly. I was thinking about this just today. At the end of the day, somebody asked me, what has saved you? At the center of it is Jesus, is the Holy Spirit. But if you say what steps or things that are put, it is not one thing. There's so much.
Yes.
Scriptures, there are books, there are counseling. Personally, we did counseling for like almost 8 months plus therapy, clinical based therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, all these things, plus mentorship, plus Bible reading.
Yes.
All these things are what's in together now makes a holistic wellness, and you say that everything is together. But this is the first time in a long time I've heard somebody give a perfect representation of what I'd felt in October 2025. I remember in October 2025, I think it was on the 6th, and I had a meeting with my mentor, and I that was the first time I would ever break down in front of her. And I told her, I said, Ma, the problem is, it looks like my knowledge of Christ and the suicidal additions are fighting against each other.
Yes.
I know that I have I have newness in Christ. I'm just, but I still feel like it's time to end it. The constant battle, I've never had to struggle this before. So you see, and that's why we have conversations like this, to help people to see that it's not just you. People are, because there's sometimes that I can imagine that when you were going through all of these things, you probably think it was just my own is the worst test.
Yes.
Nobody can be going through anything worse. If anybody wear my shoe right now,
that's right.
You understand? But somebody else is watching this and is probably going through that same thing, and this is what connects all of us together in this world. Your story is not the end, it's not the worst. Somebody has gone through it and is still becoming. So there's a chance for you. So which brings me to spiritual leaders. Do you think that a lot of spiritual leaders are dealing with a lot of emotional, in fact, overwhelmness that they don't talk about?
Yes. If you've been around pastors like I do, you will know that pastors are dealing with a lot of emotions, a lot of mental breakdown, and is overwhelming because the world expects you to be fine. As a pastor, everybody expects you to show up. Everybody expects you to be encouraging. Everybody expects. So you come to church, if you're not smiling, is an issue.
So you think you have problems?
Yes. So there's a lot of pressure. So there's a pressure from the expectation of the people.
Yeah.
There's pressure from home, family. There's pressure for bills to pay. There's pressure. So you are facing life just like every other person. But the world is expecting you to be perfect. So a lot of pastors are battling with this. And they are also battling with betrayals. Yeah. Because I think one of the hardest jobs on earth is to be a pastor. Because someone betrays you and is expecting you to be fine. Someone is stabbing you and is expecting you to just forgive and just move on. And you see pastor break down, pastor cry, pastor, but they can't show you on the TV. They will just come to be the Superman, the anointed pastor they are. But behind it, they are struggling with bills. Behind it, they are... but the issue I have with many pastors is that, just like we said, we now spiritualize it. We now spiritualize because society has told us how to express our emotions. You're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to show emotions. You're not supposed to be angry. You're not supposed to be sad. So
really happy.
Yes. So there's a lot of bottling. A lot of pastors, there's a bottling until they burst. So you see pastors now explode. It's not exploding because of that thing that happened. There've been a lot of bottling emotions that happen. So they are just exploding. You're just triggering something that has happened for 5-6 years that they've been bottling. So pastors are going through a lot, but most of them spiritualize it. They don't know how to talk. They don't know who to even talk to, because you go and talk to somebody now, they now use that against you.
Yeah.
So, and they don't want, they are even ashamed to go and see a therapist.
because how do you know that the therapist is not going to video you now?
Not even that. How do you mean that an anointed pastor will now go and sit down with a therapist and be sharing things, how would they see me? That
The problem is not deep yet.
so most pastors struggle with these things, and is I was speaking to my mentor just today, and I was telling him how, because of a couple of things that happened, how pained I am, how betrayed I am. How I was telling him, am I not preaching enough? Is it that I'm not praying enough? Is it that my word is not penetrating? I was just questioning myself because of the kind of pain, but I could talk to someone. But there are many pastors that cannot, because they don't want people to see them in a different light. I have friends, because of the way they've presented themselves as superhuman beings, super pastors. So they cannot even talk to their mentor because they don't want their mentor to see their frailty. It happens. We go through struggles.
Oh, wow. To finally wrap this up, because you've spoken a lot about getting help. So I think that by this time we should have already sunk in that help is important. But as somebody that has gone through dark phases of your life, in different phases, what does still here mean to you right now? Like, what's being here now? What does still here mean to you?
Wow, that's an amazing question. Still here for me means grace. It means grace. Means I've gone through all of that and I'm still here. I can still be talking. I can still be encouraging. I've gone through the worst things you can possibly imagine, but I'm still here. I've gone through pressure that, would have taken you away, but you still go through it. You went through it without giving up, without throwing in the towel. I'm still here in spite of the pain, in spite of the betrayal, in spite of the shame, in spite of all that I've gone through. Still here means that I'm a survivor. I'm a child of grace. Grace kept me. Grace put me through. And it can do that for anybody. Can do that for anybody. You don't need to give up. You're going through it, yes, but it's not the end of the world. You can pull through. That's what still here means to me.
Wow, that's amazing. This has been an amazing session. And like I always say, every single time, take it one step at a time, one day at a time. You're still here, and that is more than enough for now. Just hang in there, and I promise you, your story is going to be one that people would live for, and you would be surprised and shocked at how many people are just one story away from being saved, and that story could be yours. And that's why we are opening our DMs to you to just come up if you want to share your story to people. You want to let people know whatever it is: grief, depression, anxiety, burnout, stress, betrayal, unforgiveness, anger, whatever it is that you've dealt with that have really dealt with you mentally and emotionally, especially as an African, as a Nigerian, because we do not have this conversation. Please just send us a DM on our social media platform at sh.podcast with a double T on Instagram and on TikTok. And do not forget to subscribe and to share this video. Until next time, like I say, you're still here, and that is more than enough for now.